Slow touch, brown and white.
Hello and welcome to On the Couch. Now, the word couch comes from the old French word coucher, meaning to lie back. Now, the idea behind this segment was that I spoke to a few friends and I thought there's so much content out there. I would want to be adding to the plethora of information that's available. But then someone else said to me, listen, the issue here is that you have access to friends, friends of friends, and sometimes you don't have to try and change the world. But if you can change or impact the way people think or the lives of one or two people, then you've achieved your goal. So here it is, the segment called On the Couch. Now, this is a five-part segment where I'll be discussing success, fear, failure, ambition, and faith. I'll be doing it over a series of weeks, so tune in, give me your thoughts, let me hear your opinion. In the meantime, sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and let's talk about today's topic of On the Couch. In today's segment of On the Couch, I'm going to talk about success. Now, in light of everything that's going on around us, it's tough to feel like we are still remaining on track in relation to our desired success. So, the question I pose to you is, how do you define success? And perhaps by sharing my view of success, it might allow you to reframe your view of success in light of the troubled times that we're going through right now. Because it's easy to feel like, well, because everything is on a standstill, am I really still being impactful? So, how do we define success? How do you define success? Conventionally, we hear that people measure it by a wealth standard. How much money you have in your account or saved up, or how many places you've been to and traveled to. And for some people, they measure it based on a goal or tick sheet. So, my goal is here, and I'm able to tick it, I'm successful. But there has to be more than that. For me, the view of success is more of a journey as opposed to a final destination. It's a process that leads from where you are to where you think you're going, and there's success along the journey. It's about identifying it, it's about being aware of it and celebrating it as you move towards this greater idea of what success is. Allow me to illustrate. Motivational speaker and author Zig Ziglar once said, success means doing the best we can with what we have. Success is in the doing, not the getting. It is in the trying, not the triumph. Success is a personal standard, reaching the highest in us, becoming all that we can be. Now, that quote has three important parts that I believe are important to reflect on. The first of that is success is in the doing. Now, over the past few years, I've been on this journey of entrepreneurship and I've been trying a few things. I've tried to do a few things, but most importantly, I've decided actually I need to get out of my comfort zone and do something. Many years ago, in 2009, I decided to venture out into business. I decided to work with a then friend. Cut a long story short, 6 months down the line, guy took money from me, left the country. Years later, he came back and the business didn't work out. But basically, I looked at that and said, despite I've not been a success per se, but the lessons that I learned in there were definitely points of success. I learned how to be a bit more discerning about the human nature or human characteristic, particularly in business. And so since then, I've come across a variety of people who have been interested in doing business with me, but I've become a bit more discerning. So the success in that part of that story is that you have to do something in order to start the process of success. It reminds me of a quote from British Prime Minister Churchill who said, success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. You see, it's important to understand that even in these tough times, you can try something and you might fail at it. But the point is, you need to be doing something in order to get closer and closer to success. You can't sit back and hope that actually things will fall into place without you applying your mind to something. The second point that I think was very pertinent in that definition or understanding from Zig Ziglar was that success is in the trying. You must try to do something. You can't say, I'm hopeless, I'm not going to be able to. You need to be creative in these times. You need to try something. Now, in my case, the willingness to try means that you're also closely and more likely to fail. But the idea here is that you need to be willing to try. And success, I think, is something that you need to understand that the more you try, the more likely you are to succeed. From a law of averages, out of 10, if you succeed once out of 10, it might be the ninth time, the eighth time, but you need to go through all of those times. It's important to understand that success is in the trying. It's in one in doing, it's in trying. And it reminds me of Picasso's is a statement that he made once upon a time. It says, action is the foundational key to success. You need to be actional. You need to have action in order to eventually, get to a point of success. Now, now the final point that I think is worth reflecting on when thinking about success is that success is a personal standard. How you measure success should be how you view success. Yes, there's peer-based kind of success where you're saying in this industry, how am I doing relative to the next person? But it's important to understand that your journey in life is exactly that, your journey. And how you peg your success should be based on your own standards, based on your ability, based on what you're able to do, what you think you're able to do, what you're able to execute. So it's important to understand that success is a personal standard. Malcolm S. Forbes once said, victory is sweetest when you've learned defeat. You will never experience defeat if you've never tried. And if you're not trying, you're not doing. And if you're not doing, you're not able to succeed. So peg yourself relative to yourself and say, hey, this is how I view success. So for me, recording this segment, and committing to this segment is part of my success for the day. I could say that there could have been a series of things I could have done differently. I could have tried it differently. I could have said things differently. But the point here is that I feel like I've succeeded in today's day by putting this video out there. I hope it helps you to reflect. I hope it really speaks to you. Stay tuned or stick around for next week when I put up the next video on fear. Have a good one. Cheers.